Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the Tier 9 Premium American Heavy Cruiser, Alaska. We're on the map Neighbors, and unfortunately the build is not on the screen because I haven't recreated my modules and my commander skills, but if I were to guess on the build, it is probably a tank commander from my Montana. This commander goes, I think, Concealment, Manual AA, or Concealment Fire Prevention, Superintendent. You've got maybe either basics of survivability or maybe basic firing training. And then I have probably expert marksman and a drill and rush and then priority target. That would be my guess from a commander standpoint. And for modules, the same. I get the aim skill in slot 3. I don't get the extra flak burst. Don't need it. I've also got the rudder shift and then I got the concealment. So I try to play it like it's a super heavy cruiser. It exists in the world, it's not afraid of taking damage, but it's not going to hide behind an island like maybe your typical Des Moines or Buffalo at this point. Now, most of the enemy, this was their primary flank, and I can quite clearly see these torpedoes, they do 0 damage to me. You might be wondering, where are those torpedoes from? Those are deep water torpedoes that can only target battleships and aircraft carrier. Now, that player, I believe, is defeated now. I think. But there's a lot of enemies over here, and all I'm trying to do is stay back and not be the primary threat of the enemy, and we're landing some pretty good salvos. Now in this game, I'm pretty much firing on cooldown if possible. I'm looking for a target where that island icon is not disrupting my shell. Obviously I wanted to get it out there so I could do damage. Pretty straightforward. And this Musashi, he volunteers his side profile. We've got the benefit of the island, so we're not actually spotted, and this is free damage, so of course go on cooldown farming this damage, and we missed the salvo. Unfortunately for the Alaska, near the maximum gun range, you've got the American gun velocity, and it takes 10-15 seconds at absolute maximum range to get out to your target. That's the disadvantage of the Americans, but on the same coin, you also have that plunging fire that works very well. So I wouldn't trade it in. Just know that your weakness is the range of the enemy. Now, they've pulled back from C point and B point because my team is pushing into C point and B point. So we're doing a great job. Now, about half the enemy team went for A, and now they're trying to address B. Usually what happens is they all go bow on, and they start pushing slowly, constricting B point. There's absolutely nobody there. While all that's going on, I get a broadside Alaska, and we get 4 penetration plus a citadel for 17,000. Pretty happy about that. And we only have one trying to engage us, and actually we drop off detection, which is even better, and this will allow me to maybe allow the enemy Alaska or another enemy to be visible and show a broadside, and I can punish an, oh, hello, Mr. Rune. Elevating the gun, leading it based on the minimap, trying to make sure I don't run into friendlies who are engaging different targets. And the Rune is not spotted, so I'm hoping that these shells actually get there and do damage. And the last shell found the Citadel and knocked him out. And that was a good kill. Kind of fortunate. But our team has 2 kills on the enemy, and oh, friendly took a good broadside. 2 kills on the enemy. I just want to keep up the firepower. I'm trying to improve with my target selection and just keeping up the firepower. It's especially easy on the Alaska because of the turret traverse. I really appreciate the turret traverse. This is how I can keep up with something like, the Stalingrad or the Kronstadt or the Azuma in damage output. It's just keep up the fire. Enemy Alaska, pretty low. Tried to lead him in the right direction, and he just barely survived. Barely survived. I have to try and not run in the island, of course. Would be a really bad situation. Trying to turn and avoid it completely, and we, of course, have a Flint that's also going to contribute to this. While all that's going on, might as well fire at the King George. And, of course, the Flint going absolutely full speed, not trying a hint to stop, but it looks like he finally figures it out. Everything's cool. We're cool. No problem whatsoever. Enemy Dmitry Donskoy pushing forward with his Friedrich der Grosse. Of the two targets, Dmitry Donskoy is a little bit more punishable, and hopefully he will maybe angle and show a broadside. If he shows a broadside, obviously I can Citadel. There ain't no way I'm going to get the Friedrich der Grosse Citadel. While all that's going on, the friendly Lexington is under pressure. The enemy aircraft carrier has found him, is using his fighter and his combination to keep him spotted, and he's taking consecutive damage from the enemy Dmitry Donskoy. I don't know about the Friedrich der Grosse, honestly. Oh, Friedrich der Grosse firing on us, and just a little bit too much side there. But we're doing 8,200 against the Dmitry. I'm trying to discourage them from keeping up the pressure on the Lexington, and it looks like Dmitry is trying to slow down his push. But if I am able to widen it just a little bit, and maybe the shells hit just where they need to, actually torpedoes hit him, we should be able to take this guy out. Oh, he is so low. I need to try and lead him a little bit more. I think, and we have to avoid the island, so we can only use our back gun. I think he's going full speed. I tried to lead him, and of course it ricochets. Isn't it always the case when the one shell you need to finish the target off can't? And we're just helplessly firing that back gun while trying to disengage. We've done good damage so far, and ooh, the grouping, oh, just so slightly off. Really, really annoying. Continue to take fire from the Friedrich der Grosse. I'm going to try and drop off detection. While we're dropping off detection, the front guns are rotating into position, and if the front guns are in position, I decide to fire. Pretty straightforward, right? And obviously, since the front guns are in position, I can angle my front and use the armor against the enemies. It's not too shabby, honestly. And as I'm angling, friendly Neptune decides to use his smoke charge, which is really convenient, so I'm going to fire. And the smoke firing on the Atlanta actually works very well. And oh, look at the Dmitry. Boy, do I wish I have that salvo back so I could fire at the Dmitry. He's less than 300. It just needs a single shell. It would be enough. Ooh, enemy Fiji, perfectly broadside. Not passing that up with my 305s. Ain't no way we're passing that up. And we get we get 2 citadels and 2 penetrations. Looks like a friendly also gets basically the same, and we blap him out of existence. The combined firepower of my ship and another. I love it. I love seeing them just gone. Cease to exist. And honestly, this is a pretty good position for me, because I have multiple enemy battleships behind islands, and I have solid cover. They can't see me. This is free firing. And I don't know where exactly the enemy aircraft carrier is, but it's not here to detect me. So might as well take full advantage. Now, you might be wondering, why don't you go after the Musashi? You can punish the Citadel a little bit easier. King George is taking damage from others, and he's closer, and he's lower health. I felt like if I fired on the King George with a teammate, we could maybe take his gun out of the equation completely, whereas if I were firing on the Musashi, who just took a perfect broadside, and now their health is equalized once again, but if I were to continuously fire on this guy, maybe I could get him out, but I just couldn't. I couldn't kill him faster than this Musashi was apparently dying. So, regret that decision. Totally should have fired on the Musashi based on the style of play he's also taking part in. We could have probably finished him off. As it stands, he's low, but it'll take a couple more salvos, whereas I could have moved into a more aggressive position and maybe helped my teammate against the Friedrich der Grosse. It's just unfortunate, and boy, are we so close to that Citadel. I just want it to go in, and I want him to be gone. I don't want to have to worry about his guns. I allow his front guns to fire on something. The guy behind me, it looks like. And we're just, continuously firing on this guy. Broadside non-Citadel for 10,000. One more salvo, and he's gone. Looks like he's trying to move forward. So I just elevate the gun and aim for the top of the hull. Forward. Friendly Musashi, though, finishes the target off. But we're doing pretty good. There's no DDs on the enemy team. All we have to do is play exactly as we are, and we will win the game. They do have 2 bases to our 1, but we have much more powerful positions. And enemy King George, was taken out. That Friedrich Barbarossa is actually bow tanking still. And you know what? It kind of worked out. We got both of the kills in a relatively short time span. It didn't hurt too much, and you know, we've got a good team effort. Grouping looked pretty good, but it all overpinned on the Friedrich Barbarossa. Once again, still nobody can see me until that Alaska moves into my gun range. And I'm trying to get on his side so I can actually penetrate and do more damage to him. I always find that the best thing that you can do is to try and punish a target who thinks their armor's safe from one target. That usually means they're trying very hard, desperately, to survive and kill. And if you can just throw a monkey wrench in that, it becomes incredibly challenging for them. But as it stands, he's behind an island, and the enemy Alaska, who has William Halsey, he's out range, and I'm trying to engage. And we've got pretty good grouping. Unfortunately, they all overpin, but he didn't do much damage, and he's trying to dip between the shots. I don't really want that to happen, and he also has a heal, which is unfortunate. But, you know, if we just keep this fire up, there's really nothing he can do. We will always kill him before he can kill us. As long as he's spotted, of course. Friendly Neptune's taken a salvo from him, so of course I want to take him out. I would prefer to keep Neptune and... Oh, come on. He's so low. Please, 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 please die. I love that he's not actually caring about me at all. And it does look like he's possibly slowing down. I'm switching my sectors to focus. Can you believe this guy? He has sat under 7k for probably 2 minutes at this point. I guess no one else wants to fire on him. We lost the friendly Neptune. I didn't accomplish my goal. We did eventually kill him, though. So, at least that happened. We're up to 3 kills and 201,000 damage done. Not bad at all for the Alaska. And you know what? Honestly, this has been really easy. And it's been really easy because the concealment on the ship is better than battleships. It's worse than cruisers, but it's better than battleships. And I can use the islands around this area to block most of the shots. Show too much broadside there. He absolutely citadeled us. Did a huge salvo. Lucky Gneisenau. Usually my grouping on my Gneisenau is horrendous, but it wasn't for him. At least we had the health to take the damage. Because we've done such a good job up front of avoiding damage, I can be more aggressive late game. That's what I like. That's my default state. And oh, by the way, look at who we've got in the background. You remember that Dmitry Donskoy who was super low health? Yeah, he was able to recover, and he got back to 1/3 of his life, and now he is actually line of sighted behind the island. And I think just barely I have enough shot, and we actually overpin his bow. Friendly Alsace finishes off the Gneisenau. There are only 3 enemy ships left, but they've had B point for a really long time. And if we were to lose maybe the friendly Alsace and maybe another friendly ship, they might actually be equal with us. So we have to still try to win the game. I'm going to, of course, try to address the Dmitry Donskoy, because he should be dead, let's be honest. Oh, the Gneisenau, he tried to drop torps, but I took just enough time to turn back that I was able to, I guess, passively or accidentally avoid the torpedoes. Happy about that, though. We're going straight for B, and we're going to stop this 2-tick rate. There's about 3 minutes left in the game. I would love to get another kill and another probably 3,000, 4,000 more damage. Enemy Lexington is still alive, but I'm on Alaska. I'm an American cruiser. I will passively be able to deal with AA aircraft easily. I don't even have to think about it. It's so easy for an American. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm just trying to have the sector set up correctly. If he decides to maybe attack me, I'm going to use my defensive AA and just wipe him out completely. And unfortunately, Dmitry Donskoy not spotted. Look how close the game is now. We needed every effort just to keep it close, because at the end of this game, the enemy team really shrank it up. Enemy Buffalo dodges just well enough. Enemy Dmitry still behind the island, and we're still capturing. They could totally decide to fire on and maybe disrupt, but they're actually trying to finish off one of my friendlies who happens to be pretty low. So as long as we capture this base, have 2 bases to their 1, and maybe they get another kill, there's no way they can win the game. And obviously, I want to work to win the game. I don't want to just sit on my stacks of damage and be happy with that. I still want to try and win the game rather than allow the enemy team to lose it, if that makes sense. And enemy dive bomb, he's attempting to contribute to his team. I am almost able to fire on Dmitry. We did capture B point, so that's great. We are going to win the game. And yes, I finally have line of sight to fire on him. Of course, I am going to elevate my gun. I'm hoping for a superstructure shot. That's what I'm looking to do. And I would love, 59 seconds left, love to kill this guy and send it to the final in-game screen. And looks like we have really good grouping. 5,000 from that position. Very happy with that. The enemy is still attacking the friendly Alaska on my flank. I'm still taking damage, but I have enough health to take the damage. He does not. If I land well-grouped shells, we should be able to finish him off, which we do. Dmitry Donskoy, we finally finished him. He tried to run away, but I came back and got you. 4 kills, 225,000 damage done, 1.3 million. It was a real treat. I love this game in the Alaska. The Alaska is a great experience. 2,801 base XP, monster carry from my point of view. Mainly because I was firing on cooldown and also behind islands, so they couldn't really return fire. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the Alaska carry, be successful. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.